Hey friends, Kate from Venison for dinner. I'm out here at my vehicle today, and that's because I'm going to show you my vehicle readiness kit. Our family does a lot of adventuring off the beaten path. Whether we're going fishing or hunting, we could be somewhere where we don't have cell service. Even just like it's minus 30 and the vehicle breaks down and it's 20 minutes until you have help. We did not have any sort of vehicle kit. Actually, this is kind of funny. You can tell we do a lot of adventuring because a fishing rod and tackle box just lives in here. We decided we were putting together a vehicle readiness kit. This did cost us a few $100s to put together. It was something I budgeted for because I realized it was a really important thing for our family to have. Now, Marius has various things in his car and his truck. Well, our farm truck, his car. But if the kids are with us, we're probably in the Yukon Suburban. So the Suburban is what we have set up with this kit. So it's heavy. It's like a medium-sized tote. It's not large. Let me show you what it looks like in the back of the vehicle. I will admit, we're a lot of people in this vehicle, and it is at times a little inconvenient to have this tote, but I still think it's really important. So this is what it looks like in the back here. It may not look like it takes up a lot of space, but friends, when you're trying to put like feed and groceries or bags or whatever, it does take up space. So let's show you what we all have in here. Now, I think there's a couple things that I haven't quite completed in here yet. It wasn't like a one and done. It's been a work in progress. So let me show you what we have. So first thing on top here I have is toe straps. So are we stuck? Is someone we're with stuck? All sorts of different things. Big, heavy-duty toe straps. Great thing. This could also be something Marius might grab and throw in his vehicle. This is something, actually, we were at a homeschool group and a big tree fell across the road, and like we would have had to go around a long way. But a friend of mine had these in the back of her Suburban, and we hauled that tree out of the way and went on with our day. So practical. This is, we have actually, Marius has one of these in his truck too. This is one of those jump starters, battery packs. So you can jump start a dead battery without another vehicle. So you can recharge this in a vehicle or in the house. You can also charge your phone off of it. And honestly, so here's the like jumper cables. Jump starting a vehicle is super sketchy to me. It's just very uncomfortable to me. This is a lot safer. When I've had to do it with this, it just feels so much safer. Even sometimes just the way you've parked a vehicle, it's really hard to jumpstart a vehicle. One time, are we gonna have a story for every item? It kind of seems like it. One time I'd parked in such a way and Marius was away and my battery was dead, and there was some boys were coming over for a play date. This is when we lived on Salt Spring Island. And I texted the dad and I was like, hey, I have a dead battery. Can you bring jumper cables when you come? And he was like, yeah, I have them in my truck. He had to like off-road. Thankfully, he was in a Toyota Tacoma. He had to like off-road in order to actually jumpstart my vehicle. So that's handy for that. We have I think we have two high-vis shirts in here. Two high-vis shirts. So this is for highway stuff. If you have to do something on the side of the road, for safety, you can wear one of these. You could like tie one to your vehicle too. A pair of gloves. We have multiple pairs of gloves in here. We also have these. Actually, I think these are to go in Marius's. I just tossed them in here. These are like insulated, waterproof gloves. So if you have to do something really wet in winter to keep your hands protected. This is kind of a medical bag. So I do have, this is just like a standard first aid kit I got online. I always add single-use krazy glue to any first aid kit. Great for gluing up a wound. But this is just a standard first aid kit. It actually does have a little flashlight in here too. It covers your bases. But to a standard first aid kit, I always add the super glue. I add some vet wrap. This is handy, not just for like a cut, but like if you have a sting or a bite and you want to like wrap some plantain to it to keep for the inflammation, that's really handy. We have children's Advil, children's Tylenol, and children's Benadryl. And I do children's for 2 reasons. Number one, if there's a child there, it's easy to dose them, and an adult just has to take more because it's by weight. So yeah, an adult's gonna have to drink a lot more, but whatever. The other thing is that liquid hits your system faster. So if you're out in a situation where you are needing something like pretty fast, these will hit your system faster. I also have lavender oil for burns and bites. I can also use it to disinfect a cut. A thing of paracord, always handy, and a thing of water treatment tablets. So one thing we haven't added to this kit yet that we would like to is a little pot, because in winter you can't store water in your vehicle. We always bring water bottles with us, but we have these so we can treat water. But if we had a little pot, we could like melt snow, boil water, add treatment tabs, that sort of thing. So we have been on the lookout for a little pot with a lid at the thrift store. Okay, let's put this back together. The next little thing I have here, this is from Tatle gear, spelled T-A-T-L-E, and it's an everyday carry kit. So my boys actually just wear these on their belt. They have belt loops. I'm not actually sure what the Velcro's for. They also have like this little carabiner clip thing that you can clip it onto something. Marius has his in his backpack. The boys have them on their belts. I keep mine in here. And in here I have their little flashlight. It's got a pile of different like places to put things, and their knives. Their knives are a great price point for a pocket knife, like Canadian. I'd like to say like $30 to $40. And Marius thinks they're a very sturdy made knife. Marius and the boys and I all have some variation on them. They're very basic, but that's their point. They just want basic quality knives so that everybody can have what they need. The last thing I have.
It works.
Yeah!
And then you, so that's how Zippo works.
Or you can just close it then to put it out.
Why can't we have them?
And here too is their zippo, and actually the boys got zippos, but that's how they're spelled. Marius won't let the boys have zippos at this point, and that's because a zippo, when dropped, because you don't, like on a standard Bic lighter, you light it and you hold it, and when you let go, the fuel stops. This, once it's started, it just keeps going. So it's great for starting a fire somewhere where you're having trouble with wind and whatever, but when you drop it, it stays going. And maybe his friend burnt down his parents' root cellar playing with the Zippo. Anyhow, that little kit in there. What else do we have here? Okay, so this, we have gloves and hats in here. So I have a couple wool hats. This is just a hat that nobody was wearing. And then we have some little kid mitts, and we have insulated work gloves. So I see these like partly as emergency situation, and also just like we get somewhere and we realize we maybe didn't pack adequately. That's happened before. So we can just pull out and use those. We have a few pairs of socks, partly emergency situation. Also, these can act as gloves in a pinch. And like if you get your socks wet and you're out, you can change into a dry pair of socks. So there you go. We're getting down to the last few items here. So this, we have a weather radio that is crank or solar charge. This is just a great little thing to have in your emergency kit. This multi-tool, I'm not going to put the whole thing together, but it has a handle, right? So it's a little shovel. It's also in a pinch, you can cut wood with it. It's got like a little blade on one side. It's also got a pick for digging. It's got a few different things, I feel like. I don't think I know all of it. Oh, that's for smashing like a window out. I feel like I don't know the full extent, but Mac does. Mac knows what he has the same one. Anyhow, so that, I don't have a brand name on it, but we bought it from Good to Go Co. Food. We have a bag of granola bars. We pretty much always pack food with us when we go places, but it's a good thing to have with you. So then we have, I just kept them in the box, but they're like those, are they Mylar? Emergency blankets. Good, small, inexpensive thing to keep in there. And last but not least, we have a wool blanket. Multi-use, emergency use, everyday use, all sorts of things. So as you can see, there is quite a few different treasures that we have going on in here, but I'm pretty happy with it. The one other thing, I do want to put like 20 bucks, 40 bucks, something like that in here. Just so it's like I almost always have cash on me. I really try to. Marius and I try to. We've been in enough situations where a debit machine is down and you still need gas or food. Like, he was forest firefighting. He was in the middle of nowhere and they stopped for lunch and they didn't have any lunch on them. They were like on their way to another camp. They didn't have lunch on them. And the restaurant's like, we're sorry, the debit machine is down. And there was no bank in this town that they could go to or anything. And the debit machines were down in all this town. And Marius was the only person who had cash on him. He paid for everybody's lunch and they paid him back later. He was the only person who was carrying cash. Another time, Marius and the kids are driving back from Prince Rupert, like 5 or so hours away. They'd been on a fishing charter. Phone lines, internet, and thus debit was down for an 8-hour stretch of the highway everywhere. Cell phones, internet, landlines. It was like freaky. They didn't realize because they'd like turned their phones off and gone on a fishing charter all day. And then they get back and they're like, oh, the world is ending. So there was people parked at gas stations who didn't have enough gas to get to the next town, who didn't have cash on them, waiting until the debit machine started working. Marius has cash on him, fills up, goes on his way. So friends, there's been little things too, like you're in a store, your debit card decides not to work. Cash is king. Keep some cash on you, okay?
Oh, is it all gonna fit in the way we took it out? I'm not quite sure, friends. I might actually need a little bigger tote.
So some things are obviously things that I bought new for this, but some things are like, these are from when Marius worked in construction. This is the company he used to work for. So he had some of these in his closet with his name on them and weren't being used. You know, I just grabbed a couple of decent pairs of socks from our drawer. I grabbed some gloves and hats that weren't popular with the kids. It wasn't all buying things new, right? Like I bought a case of granola bars and I just used some of them for this. So it's, well, some things, yes, you do need to buy new. A lot of it is just about gathering supplies you already have. Okay, I didn't pack this properly because it did close before. Anyhow, we're just going to pretend that closes. So I hope this inspires you. Maybe I'll try and make a list and put it in the description. So if you guys would like a list for easy reference, or if there's anything else that you think I should add, right? Like, what do you keep in a vehicle emergency kit that you think we should have? I'm gonna put these in Marius's vehicle for them. He actually uses these to fill up. We have like a bulk fuel tank. He uses these in winter too, to do that. So he needs these in his truck. Not sure why they're in my emergency kit. Like this video. Make sure you like this video. And subscribe so you don't miss anything.